All right. Here we are. Here I am. A little crazed, a little tired, a little worn and weary. But I want to get this out. Even though the production is lacking from an aesthetic point of view. But it's all about the message, my friends. So I've got my brand new World Hierarchy Pyramid from the map maker Dylan Lewis Monroe, also known as A145, the map maker. Personally signed, sealed, delivered, March 2nd, 2023. Yeah. And the question is, why do you want to hear any of this? It's kind of dark. In fact, it is dark to some degree. Put it this way, half of it is dark, half of it is light. So I'm looking at this as a snapshot in time historical document. I don't think this structure is going to last much longer. I think we're seeing it crumble before our very eyes. And what will be born in its place, that's up to us. We have our say, even though we seem to be tiny and outgunned, so to speak. We don't have the resources that, the dark controllers have here. The various organizations listed here. Anyway, let's get right to it. So I'm titling this World Hierarchy Pyramid / The Great Awakening, because there's a lot going on, a lot. And the Great Awakening means people are waking up more and more every day, every week, every month. Will we reach the critical mass needed to finally get rid of this beast, this harlot of Babylon, once and for all? I believe so. I believe the answer is a resounding yes. But we're going to have to roll up our sleeves and do the work. Each one of us to their own capacity, whatever we can, to take a stand. The line has been drawn, the line in the sand. Let us proceed. So, this is an interpretation from one individual, Dylan Lewis Monroe. If I were to do this, mine would be a little different, but he nails everything pretty much on the head, more or less, with a high degree of accuracy. So today, I'm just going to do an introduction. And what are we going to do? First, I want to give acknowledgement to the Andromedans. Yeah, I mistakenly called that little piece of selective imperviousness that I had last time an Arcturian creation. Wrong. It was Andromedan. Oh, you know how us humans get things mixed up, names and places. Yeah. Iraq, Iran, North Dakota, South Dakota, Andromeda, Arcturia. It happens. Excuse me. So let's start with the introduction. Make this quick and easy. Our world is built on hierarchical systems of power. Hierarchical systems of power, control, cults, and controllers. This food chain of power extends all the way off the earth realm, believe it or not. and beyond dimensions that we are unable to perceive with this flesh eye. Many versions of such power pyramids have been created by various authors, but this one aims to be the most comprehensive illustration of hierarchy ever created. So Dylan the map maker, you did a fine job here. Judeo-Christian and Gnostic conceptions of the higher realms are presented in contrast to each other on either side of the peak of the pyramid. So that means right here. One side is Judeo-Christian understanding, one side is the Gnostic understanding. The names and terminology of these two incongruent mythologies may also have analogous counterparts in Eastern philosophies. Now, he just used the word mythologies. Now, don't get all upset. Study what myth is, and you'll come to understand the power of it and the reality of it. Don't let that word throw you off. One thing I would say, he's got here Brahma up here in the creator pantheon, as understood by different cultures in different parts of the world. God, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim, Brahma, Aton, also Lord, Father, Jehovah, Ara, Ahura, Mazda. So these are names of deity, source, prime benevolent creator, known in the various cultures of the world. I would say Vishnu instead of Brahma, because in my understanding, Brahma is a secondary creator. He is not a primal creator. Vishnu is a primal creator, but that's just my take, and that's just how I would have done it. Continuing. This rigid hierarchical system, which is a modern day caste system derived from more ancient ones, runs in diametric opposition to the concept of individual freedom and the so-called American dream. This world hierarchy pyramid, it is built on blood oaths of silence and mass deception. One may escape this system, however, simply by reclaiming their own sovereignty and their birthright granted by God. Malicious forces achieve dominion most easily by persuading subservient beings into offering their consent to be dominated. So that's down here, which we'll take a look at in part 2. The peasants, the mass population, the sheep, the cattle, the human livestock, the zombies, the goyim, the breeders, the debtors, the clones, the 9-to-5 slaves. You get the picture. A disobedient slave can quickly become a dire liability. Free will is a universal principle, but one must not forget that even in God's natural world, we can experience savage and unforgiving circumstances, just as we can in Satan's hell matrix. For example, if you went out on a hike and got lost, went off the trail, and it was extreme weather time of year, and the search party couldn't find you, you'd probably agree at that point, this is savage. This is brutal. This is unforgiving. So that's what that statement's referring to. So in the next installment, we'll go to Tier 1, which I just gave a brief read off. But let's see if there were a couple more things I wanted to say regarding this introduction. So I'll post a couple links below relevant to what I just said in the introduction. One will be reclaiming sovereignty, the full-fledged legal way through different filings of paperwork. But really, the first step is to claim your sovereignty internally, to yourself, to creation, to God and Goddess, to the angelical realm. Let them be the witnesses of your declaration, because it's all about intent. Paperwork is fine. That's good for negotiating, certain aspects of this satanic matrix. But the main thing is our declaration of intent from our heart and our will. That's what we're talking about. Okay, that'll wrap it up. Once again, excuse the guerrilla approach here. It's all very, on the fly, kind of crude, on the amateurish side, but the sincerity is there. And the main thing is for any interested parties watching to do your own investigative search of the various things I touch upon in these presentations. That way, in the comfort of your own home, your own big computer screen, you can take your time and blow up things to your heart's content, to your eyes' comfort zone, and do your research. Of course, remember, we need an equal amount of play, recreation in our lives. It's not all about exploring the shadows. We need to be able to bathe in the healing and rejuvenating waters of positivity and healing and love and friendship and laughter. So remember, take care of yourself. Don't go too far down this rabbit hole without coming up for air. And why would anyone want to go down this rabbit hole in the first place? I can only tell you my reason. I want to know what the opposition is thinking. I want to know their strategy, their mindset. That way, I can recognize their hand when they're at play in the world. I can see their work, their dirty work, and I can minimize my stress levels because I recognize, I know who that is. You're not going to fool me. Simultaneously, I devote significant time to developing my spiritual side so that I can recognize God's hand, the hand of God and his representatives. And I can see their messages and their representations, even in this 3D land. And that can fuel me, that can inspire me, that can keep my head way above the water of the deception that goes on around us. So that's some of my motivation. I want to know the enemy, and that way I can navigate my life and build my life with greater adeptness and agility. Yep, it's all about preparation. That's the thing, preparation, and imagination. We don't want to get bogged down here too much in 3D land. Like I said, we want to have our vision to the skies, to the heavens. We need that higher realm goal, that higher purpose. But enough of such sayings and ramblings. You have things to do. Thanks for watching. Ciao.